In this video, we're being asked to prove angle 1 congruent to angle 4 if we know that angle 2 started off being congruent to angle 3. I wrote my given out already. The first thing we always want to do is look for vocabulary words. There's no vocabulary words, so we end up going to our picture and say, what do we know about our picture? I'll fill that information in. Angle 2 is congruent to angle 3. Um, is there anything that our picture hides to us? Okay, and when we look for things that are being hidden, we look for segments that are being shared by two triangles or two shapes, or we look for vertical angles. Okay, and here we recognize we should have vertical angles. Angle 1 and angle 2 are vertical from one another. So I need to write that angle 1 should be congruent to angle 2. My reason is that vertical angles are congruent. Likewise, if angle 1 was congruent to angle 2, shouldn't angle 3 be congruent to angle 4? They are also vertical. Okay. Now, because angle 2 started off with one hash mark and angle 1 was congruent to it, it should have one hash mark. If angle 3 started off with one hash mark and angle 4 was congruent to it, it should have one hash mark. So everything up here, every angle that I've shown has one hash mark in it. So that tells me that every one of these angles is congruent to any other angle. So angle 1 would be congruent to angle 3, angle 1 is congruent to angle 2, and angle 1 is also going to be congruent to angle 4, which that's really what we wanted, was angle 1 congruent to angle 4. But now we've got to decide, what was the reason that angle 1 was congruent to angle 4? I mean, we can't just say, well, they all had one hash mark in. There has to be a logical progression of why that is true. I'm going to take these items here and kind of rewrite them. I'm going to take this one and write it first, angle 1 congruent to angle 2. I'm going to write this one second, angle 2 congruent to angle 3. And then I'll write this one last again, angle 3 is congruent to angle 4. If I notice, there's a progression here. If 1 is the same as 2, but 2 is the same as 3, but 3 is the same as 4, I've pretty much said that the first item, through a progression of going from 2 to 3 to 3 to 4, I've said the first item is going to be equal to the last item. Okay, and I could essentially then, if you want a visual of getting rid of this stuff here, all those things in the middle kind of led us to saying angle 1 is congruent to angle 4. That idea, that concept, is the transitive property. Remember, the transitive property in its most general form said if A is equal to B and B is equal to C, then A is equal to C.